What's up, everybody? I'm Cronocyde, and welcome to episode 12 of CronoCast, a PlayStation podcast. So, CronoCast is a PlayStation exclusive podcast where I talk with my co-host Yemi the Ferret, aka Yemi, you know him, about all things PlayStation. Yemi, how are you, dude?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, we skipped one last week because of Halloween.
Yes.
Felt a little bad about it, but like Tuesday was my live stream. Wednesday was a Halloween, and I have kids, so no podcast for me. And Thursday you saw a show, right? Circa Survive and La Dispute.
That is true. Double whammy.
Double whammy. How was the show, first of all? Because it's bands that I'm listening to, so I'm curious about that.
Yeah, it was definitely a really good show. Both bands had a nice, distinct performance. And Circus Survive had a really nice light show going on. Like it was really impressive, and it sounded really good. So I'm happy that we were able to get there.
So the main band was La Dispute or Circa Survive?
Circus Survive was the main band, and La Dispute opened for them.
That's a really awesome lineup right there. Both
Yes.
bands are pretty big, so La Dispute last album too really sucks, man. I was disappointed by their last albums.
I haven't really listened to that one. I just listened to the early ones.
Yeah, early ones are the best for sure.
But
All
yeah,
right.
we were second row for La Dispute, and I was like, "There's no way I'm pulling out my camera in this crowd," because everyone was pushing around, and one guy, like the singer, came up into the front, and he was like letting people kind of scream into the microphone for the one part, and he
really?
pushed past us, he pushed back everyone in front of us, and he ran to the microphone, and the lead singer pushed him back into the crowd.
Man, that's crazy. Was that was there any like mosh pit or something like that, or?
Oh yeah, yeah, people moshed a lot.
Okay. Because La Dispute is like a weird band. They are like the singer is singing, but is more like telling a story. There's no chorus. There's no like. It's really a special band with
Yeah, exactly.
really awesome lyrics. I really enjoyed, and it's not like I discovered them like 1 year ago or something like that. And I cannot stop listening to this band. So I was surprised that you knew this band first of all, and that you were listening music like me, the same type of music. So that's one other thing that we have in common, on
Yeah,
top
it's
of PlayStation.
crazy. Yeah, my
Crazy, right?
fiance is more of a fan of La Dispute,
Okay.
but I enjoyed both bands. You know, Circus Survive is my favorite out of the two, but I still really enjoy La Dispute.
And La Dispute is two French words. It means like a fight or an argument or something like that.
Yeah.
So the more you know, right? So let's
Well,
talk about
I
games.
do that. Yeah, let's talk about games.
If it's your first show, we don't usually do that. Like we're talking PlayStation right away, but why not, right? It's a
Yeah.
conversational podcast, so why not? So have you played any games during the past 2 weeks? Probably, right?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Red Dead 2, which is all right. I haven't gotten very far in it. I just it's very there's a lot to do, lots going on. I think it's gonna be a contender for game of the year, maybe.
So you like it?
Yeah, it's really good. Like I said, I haven't played much of it. I just kind of got past like the first part, and then I'm just starting the free roam stuff right now.
Okay.
But it's really interesting. Like everything is about as real as you can get. I mean, you have to maintain your cores by drinking and eating, and like you can't wear clothes that are too heavy in the summer, or your health will go down faster. It's kind of cool.
Okay.
It's a lot to do.
I watched a lot of streamers play it. I I like what I saw. I'm not like on the hype train though. I will wait for the game. I have so much games to play, and this game will like consume my life if I buy it right now. So I'll wait for it. I got a platinum for Crash Bandicoot 3. I think you were in the chat, right?
Yeah, I wasn't there for it, but I was there for most of the stream.
All right. So I played a lot of it. We played also Halloween Forever.
Oh yeah.
Pretty chill game. It's like an 8-bit platformer. You did a review on your channel of the game.
It was amazing. I love that game.
Yep. Super cool game. I continued a little bit of Rise of the Tomb Raider, and I finally finished Until Dawn Rush of Blood too.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So I'm going back to clean up the trophies, and I will be coming back for the veteran, I think it's called.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called. Yeah.
And after that, there's like a mode that you cannot die, but you can cheese it. And there's collectibles too. So I'm going back, but I'm not even mad because the game is awesome, especially in VR. It's really immersive.
Yeah, it's great. I love that game so much. Like, I think the last level is a little bit of a letdown. Like, it's
last
just
level
like,
sucked, right?
Yeah, it was just like this whole game's building up to this last level, and it's like, eh.
Yeah, the last level was like totally out of focus of the main game, I feel like. I didn't like the last level too, and it was really frustrating too. It's not easy, like it's a bad level. It's a bad level. And I also played Resident Evil 7, not in VR though. I played it on a live stream. This game is spooky, dude.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it so far.
Good.
And I will restart the game and play all the game in VR, collecting everything. So I will not play on the channel, but it was like a Halloween special, and I'll play all this game in VR. I played a lot of game actually. I continued Retold Corpses X, which is twin stick shooter, pixel art game with stage. And it's really cool, really cool game. I did a video a while back on like a quick review of the game. It's really awesome. I think you will dig this one for sure.
I'll have to check it out.
I can contact the developer for you too. He's really chill and might like lend you a review copy of the game.
That'd be really nice of you.
Yep, it's one of my most popular video on my channel. So a review might do good on your channel too.
Yeah, hopefully.
And I finished Mega Man 4 yesterday too.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah. Not the best Mega Man game. I think one of the worst of the 8 like original games, at least in my opinion, but it was pretty cool. Pretty cool game still.
Hey, speaking of platinum trophies, I 100%ed Spider-Man last week, and I 100%ed the DLC. So all I got left to do right now is to go back through the game on Ultimate difficulty and the New Game Plus.
So the DLC was called The Heist, right?
Yes, The Heist.
Was it good or?
Like I didn't mind it. I thought that the new challenges in it were pretty fun.
Okay.
But I felt like the story was a little bit lacking. But it is actually, I'm not going to give it away. You'll see at the end of the DLC what why it kind of redeems itself a little bit. But okay. I thought it was all right. I'm not going to give it high praises, but it's like a 7.
Oh, that's not too bad. It's not too long, right?
No, it took me like an hour. Not even.
Oh, really?
To 100% it, yeah.
Dude, that's really short, actually.
The funny thing is, I got everything done 100% in the districts, and then I started like playing more of the DLC, and there's like several parts where, he's like, "Oh, explore the city, level up." And I'm just waiting for people to call me and have me do the next mission. I was like, I shouldn't have done this. This was a bad idea.
It's really boring when you have nothing else to do, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna jump right in the news, right?
Oh, you gotta do your opening, though.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it. But I'm just telling you that I'm gonna jump in the news.
Okay. Tricky.
Okay. Here's the opening, guys.
Yeah, okay, here we go.
The CronoCast is recorded each and every week on Wednesdays. Each and every week is not always true, but sometimes it's true. And is uploaded on YouTube on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Podcast is divided into several segments. We talk about news, new releases, topic of the show, trophies, question from the listeners, and a PlayStation memory. So the first news of the week is, of course, the full lineup of the PlayStation Classic. So we got the full lineup, 20 games included, a lot of weird choices, I would say, but a lot of classic games. So I'll jump right in the list, and I would love to hear your thoughts after that. So here we go. Battle Arena Toshidan. Cool. That's a pretty cool game. Cool Borders 2, Destruction Derby, Final Fantasy 7, Grand Theft Auto, Intelligent Cube, Jumping Flash, Metal Gear Solid, Mr. Driller, Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Rayman, Resident Evil Director's Cut, Revelations Persona, Ridge Racer Type 4, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Siphon Filter, Tekken 3, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Twisted Metal, and Wild Arms, which is a great choice. So what are your thoughts on the choices of titles right there?
There aren't enough 3D platformers.
Yep.
I was really hoping for some of those ones that I listed because, like, I know Blasto isn't a huge game with everyone, or Jersey Devil, but those are two games that are like over $60, $70 to buy on eBay.
Yeah.
And it's like, I wish they would have included some of those because I would have really loved to play those without having to spend a fortune. But I mean, this list is all right. You know, there's a few games I don't know on here, but I mean, we got Metal Gear Solid and Destruction Derby and Twisted Metal, and I don't know how Rainbow Six is gonna work without the Joy-Cons, but
yeah,
we'll
that's a weird choice. There's a lot
Abe's
of
Odyssey. Abe's Odyssey was a great idea to put on here. But I don't know why they would put it on here because it already got a remaster.
Yeah,
and
it was way better, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's a great game in itself, but with the remaster out, why do you need the original?
Exactly. And there's a lot like Jumping Flash, Mr. Driller, Intelligent Cube. That's not too bad actually. Battle Arena Toshinden is a classic, is like a launch title, so I guess it's not too bad. Tom Clancy's, nobody will play that. It's way too old. And yeah, it's not too bad. I'm super happy about Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. That's an awesome game. There's no Gran Turismo though. Ridge Racer. Why? Persona, the first Persona is rough. And it's really hard, so I'm not sure if people like are new to the Persona series that it's a great starting point. The second game is way better. I'm happy about Wild Arms. That's not too bad, but like a list like that, you cannot please everyone.
That's true, but hey, Siphonator will be glad to know that Siphon Filter is on here.
Yeah, for sure. This is where he got his nickname, right?
Yeah, it was on my podcast. He said that.
Yeah. That's why I know it, right? That means I'm listening to the podcast.
Little plug.
Yeah. And even Metal Gear Solid, I've already like a better version of the game on GameCube and also on PS4 and PS3. So yeah, I guess it's not too bad, but why not put like the first Crash Bandicoot or even Spyro on there if you put like Oddworld or Metal Gear or
right.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. And there's probably like a lot of third-party publisher and developer that don't want their games in there too, like Konami, Capcom, and stuff like that. So
like Pepsi Man.
Yeah, Pepsi Man, of course.
How can we forget Pepsi Man?
Yeah, why? I wonder why.
Did you know that game is over $130 on eBay?
Yeah, because nobody bought it,
import. Right? Yeah.
That's why most of the super expensive games are bad games usually, because people like it's one thing like at the end of a cycle of a console, if a game is released right before like in between two consoles, it's a pretty safe bet that the game will like go up in value, or if the game sold poorly. So that's the two main reasons why a game have value basically.
So I should hold on to my physical copy of No Man's Sky. That's just a joke. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. I was trying to explain to you why it's a bad idea, but
I should hold on to my copy of Godzilla for PS4. Woo!
Well, that's a better bet, I guess, because the game sold poorly. Hey, have you checked Godzilla if it's expensive or not?
It is $20 in the bargain bin.
But US, so it's like $100 Canadian, so it's not too bad, right?
I don't know.
All
Game
right,
is awful.
so
who's gonna want it?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody will want it. Sony's stealth released a new PS4 Pro model and it's quieter. So far, only one bundle have this console, and it's the Red Dead Redemption 2 bundle, and it's in the UK. But if it's in the UK, I guess the US will come soon after. I guess it said that it's a little bit quieter and like it's a better iteration of the console, basically. Not sure why they are not promoting it though.
Yeah, no, maybe because PS5 is going to be coming out next year. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm thinking about buying a PS Pro, especially for VR and like a better hardware, basically. But I'm not sure anymore because if the PS5 is released, I won't be playing the PS4 anymore, right?
That's true. Well, maybe. I mean, if there's not enough games out for it right away, we'll probably still play the PS4 for a while. But
yeah.
You know, if there's a lot of games that come out day one, I mean, it might be put on the shelf and never be heard from again. You never know.
Yeah, that's for sure. And we don't know if the PS5 will be backward compatible with PS4 too. So
It better be. I mean, I don't see why they couldn't. I mean, it's probably still going to use Blu-ray discs. And if it's digital content, then that's easy enough to switch over in your store account.
yeah, totally, man. Totally. Yeah, backward compatible is a must, I guess. Especially in the digital era right now. So
Yeah.
next news is the story behind PSVR. So Déraciné, or you guys would probably say something like Déraciné or something like that, right?
I'm just going to let you say that word.
Okay. Weird accent on the E too. You're not used to that.
No.
It was released this week, November 6th. It's a PSVR exclusive game. It's coming from Software, a Japan studio, a collaboration with From Software. It seems like a horror game, I would say, with like story elements in there. I saw a couple of reviews. They got mixed reviews. Have you heard about this game, first of all?
This is the first week I've heard of it, or the first time I've heard of it. I didn't even know it was coming around.
Yep, it's coming around, and it's from two big studios. It seems like an awesome VR experience, to be honest. PlayStation Move controllers are required, by the way. It seems like a moving story with a little bit of like horror element, like I said, like in the whole mansion. I was excited about it. It's using like the old, not the whole, but like the teleporting of the PlayStation VR, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Instead of walking, you're like teleporting through the area. I'm not sure about that. I guess it's because of the motion sickness.
I don't know if the teleporting would be worse for motion sickness. I would feel like if you were a specter and you were moving yourself around through walls and stuff, that could probably spark it up. But I think jumping to points would definitely be, easier on your motion sickness.
Yeah, that's for sure. Because I played Tomb Raider VR in the Rise of the Tomb Raider. It's a DLC, and there's two modes. One is the free mode, and the other one is like the more like teleporting mode. And I tried the free mode, and like in 5 minutes, I was feeling bad, man. Motion sickness, and yep. So I guess it's not ready for that yet. It's not there yet.
Yeah.
And the most interesting thing about Déraciné is that little picture there. So Déraciné Easter egg has people talking about Bloodborne 2. So you might be able to explain this one. So this picture right there sparkled the internet, I would say. It's like a pose from Bloodborne. Is that it?
Yeah, it's one of the poses from Bloodborne, and that's kind of cool.
So does that mean that Bloodborne 2 is coming, or is just like an Easter egg for the fans of Bloodborne?
I would think it hits at a Bloodborne 2. I mean, it's even the description says it's a girl who appears in the unfinished tale. So I think maybe, Bloodborne 2 is in the works right now, and they're kind of like, saying, hey, it's coming.
Yeah, that's yeah, totally. So that picture doesn't like speak to me because I never played Bloodborne. I'm planning on playing it with your help, of course. But yeah, I guess Bloodborne is coming. If it's coming, it might be one of like early title of PlayStation 5. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? We'll see.
That it's a huge game for sure.
Hmm.
Everybody loved Bloodborne, the first one, so it's a huge game. So
Agreed.
agreed. Spyro is coming out next week, Tuesday next week, and it's still not sure. Like the first story was that the second and the third game on disc, it was digital only, even if we buy the physical version. After that, Activision said, no, 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 everything is on 2 disc. So Spyro 2 entry is on disc.
Hmm.
But now they are saying that, yep, it's on disc, but you won't be able to play the Spyro 2 entry without the patches.
Ay, ay, ay.
So it's really, really confusing, and nobody knows yet, but at least we have disc with the games on it. So for reselling like purpose, I guess it's not too bad, but still won't be able to like just insert the disc and play without having internet, right?
Yeah, or the game might be broken if you don't update it. Who knows?
Yep, and they are like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5 is a good example right there. A game that is totally broken without the patches.
It's broken with the patches.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, it's
What a
less
train
broken
wreck.
with the patches.
I
Still
mean,
broken, but
you can only polish a shit so much. Yeah.
yeah. And I was excited about this game too,
I
but
was
never.
too. I love Tony Hawk games, and the fifth one was just awful.
Yeah, exactly. It was awful, and yeah, man, they really shit the bed with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. They had like something on their hands, and they just like Activision style, just put out games after games after games, and kill the series basically.
Especially with that motion controlled board that you could buy for that one edition of it.
Yeah,
That
Tony
was
Hawk's Ride, I think
yeah,
it was called,
that
and it
was a
was
bad
broken.
idea. Just like DJ Hero, it's like it's a piece of plastic that I'm gonna play with once, and then I'm gonna be like, "Well, this is dumb," and then
Yeah,
never play again.
yeah, totally, man. Ah, man, Tony Hawk's so sad. And the remaster was pretty good too. Not sure if you
Yeah,
played it.
I have it on computer. I just don't have it installed right now.
Yep, it's a cool game, man. Most of the soundtracks are not there too because of copyrights, but it's a really cool game. If you like the original Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, it had the revert system too. I
Hmm.
platinum this one. I really had a good time with it. Are you ready for the big news?
I'm ready for the big news.
Medieval is once again revived after like 2 years with no news. Medieval dropped a new trailer just before Halloween. It's 20 years too since the original release of Medieval. We have screenshot right now on the screen. It looks pretty cool. Not sure if it's like a game that everybody wants but nobody will buy, right? I feel like.
I don't know because Medieval wasn't like a huge. I don't know. I don't hear a lot of people talking about Medieval. It's not like it's one of those classic games that people really like to talk about. But I mean, I'm excited for this because I looked at the original, and the original is like one of those games that the price is a little outrageous for for the title. But I'm excited for this. It looks really good. It looks like they gave it the Crash Bandicoot, the Spyro Reignited trilogy.
Yeah.
I mean, it just looks really good. There's nothing else I can say about it. It's gonna really blow people away, I think, and it's
Yep.
really gonna revive this character.
And it's a 3D platformer like you wanted to.
Yeah.
So I yeah, I would love to see something like Ratchet and Clank quality with
Hmm.
Medieval, but we'll see, we'll see. I'm excited about it, but I won't buy it like day one, even if I'm a huge fan of the original games. So yeah, we'll see.
Well, I'm gonna buy it day one.
Okay, okay. You buy
I've been
everything day one anyway, so
well, not everything. I haven't bought Assassin's Creed yet. Haven't bought Lego Villains yet.
But those games are like known to be dropped for Black Friday, like not Rise, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Yeah, games like that. They will drop pretty soon and pretty bad too. So.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. I don't think I never spent more than like $40 on an Assassin's Creed. Always bought it on discount. So
Yeah, I wouldn't want to spend $60 on a Lego game nowadays either. So that's why I'm waiting for it to go really down too.
yeah, yeah. Lego games are like the most I played is like $15 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're always on sales, always.
Thank
All right.
goodness.
So, what's that?
Thank goodness, because
Yeah,
if there weren't any sales, I would never have bought a Lego game.
yeah, for sure. Me either. That's for sure. PlayStation Plus, free games for November 2018. So pretty good selection, in my opinion. We got Bulletstorm, a full clip edition. We got Yakuza. I'm tired, man. Yakuza Kiwami. That's for both PlayStation 4. For PlayStation 3, we got Jackbox Party Pack 2. And pretty cool. And Arcado series, which I think is like an hardcore platformer. For Vita, we got Burly Man at Sea. I can't believe we still got Vita games.
That Arcado series is a Candy Crush knockoff.
Oh, so okay, I'm mistaken on this one.
It has a little bit of platforming in it, though. It's not all only that kind of thing, but it does have a majority of it is the Candy Crush kind of thing.
Oh man, I hate that. Burly Man at Sea for PlayStation Vita and also cross-buy with PS4, and Roundabout PS Vita cross-buy with PS4. Burly Man at Sea is a really easy platinum. Roundabout is like, I heard good things about the games, but I don't know much about it. But both PlayStation 4 are really good, actually.
Yeah. Bulletstorm is definitely one of my favorite games that came out in the PS3 era, and I already have full clip edition, so unfortunately it's a pass for me on that one. But if you don't have it, I mean, I definitely recommend it because it's not like a normal shooter. You actually have to kill with style. You kick people in the cactuses, you rope them in and then kick them into people. It's amazing. I love that game so much.
Yeah, that was the thing, yeah.
And Yakuza, I never played a Yakuza game, so I'll probably add it to my library and put it into the waiting list. And Burly Man at Sea, yeah, it's a fun experience, I think. Burly Man at Sea, lots of different pathways you can go on. You kind of write your own book. And I actually wrote a guide for it on PlayStation Profiles. It wasn't an official one though.
Oh.
It was just a little aside, and I kind of wrote out what you had to do, and it's a fun game. You can get the platinum pretty fast, but I really enjoyed the experience of the Burly Man at Sea game.
Yep, the art style is really bizarre too. Yep, I don't know much about the game. Like I said, I checked a trailer before the podcast to see exactly what it was. Not sure if I'll play it, but it's stylish for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so there, like Yakuza Kiwami is like a big game, and they put it on PlayStation Plus to like let the fan discover the series. So that's a really smart way to use PlayStation Plus. Just give out like one of the good quality title, and people will buy Yakuza 0 and Yakuza 5 or 6 they are right now, I think. So
yeah,
I will try that game for sure.
Yeah, like I said, it'll go on the list of games to play.
Yep. Especially free, right? And yeah. PlayStation Vita all-time US bestseller show why Sony binned system. So NPD released a list of all the best-selling titles on the PlayStation Vita, and it doesn't take like rocket science to know exactly why the PlayStation Vita failed. So first one is Uncharted Golden Abyss, which was a release date title, I think, if I'm not mistaken, at least like 1 or 2 months away from the release date. After that is the Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified. You played that, right?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, awful title. Number 3 is Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, awful title. Once again, Mortal Kombat wasn't too bad. Little Big Planet PS Vita is one of the most cool Little Big Planet game. I really, really enjoyed this one. Number 5, Need for Speed Most Wanted. Number 6, Killzone Mercenary was a pretty cool game. Persona 4 is one of the best games on the PlayStation Vita. After that, we have Unit 13 and Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But all titles like release in the first year or so, right?
Yeah, except for I think Marvel vs. Capcom, right?
Yeah, probably, but they have a pretty big fan base, so yeah, the sales follow the fan base basically. But everything like those, just this list prove that like by 2013 the PlayStation Vita was already given up by Sony, and the fans to stop like buying the system, at least in the US.
Yeah. And some of these games you can get on the PlayStation 4 anyways.
Yeah, most of them. And like I'm playing my PlayStation Vita like almost every week. Like Halloween Forever, I played on PS4 just for recording matters. But I'm continuing the game on Vita. I asked a key of the developer, and they said that they gave me a free key for the PlayStation Vita too. They have they probably have like tons of key for the PlayStation Vita. Nobody wants them.
Right.
So they gave me a key, and I'm continuing like in my bed, man. And it's an awesome game to play on the Vita too.
Yeah, I would bet. I mean, it looks like a game that's perfect for any device that you're playing it on.
Yep. Yeah, I love this game, man. It's a pretty cool game. The next segment is the Ferret's drop.
That is true.
And it's your segment, dude. It's your time to shine, right?
Yeah, it's my time to not mess up vocabulary.
Yep.
All right. So the first one that I picked from this week's crop of games is 1111 Memories Retold. And I picked this one for you, Chrono. It comes out 11/9, and it's based in 1916 during that's pretty much the end of World War One, but it was getting pretty bad. And you are a young photographer who leaves Canada to join the Western Front in Europe the same day as a German technician is told that his son is missing. So both want to preserve their humanity and come back alive from World War One.
It's a pretty cool image, man. It's really, really nice.
The graphics are like water paint, kind of. Like
Okay.
it kind of looks like a little blurry, but it's also really stylized. It's a third-person view directly from the back, which was kind of weird to me. I was watching gameplay of it, and if you're gonna do over the shoulder, make sure it is over the shoulder, not just square in the back. And it's kind of like a point-and-click adventure game. A little bit of action here and there, a little bit of puzzle solving. It looks interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna buy it I'm gonna buy it right now, but if I see it on sale, I think I'll definitely consider picking it up.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool, man.
And the next game is the one that you are going to say the name of.
Déraciné.
Déraciné. I got it. It's a brand new story adventure game created by the same developers Bloodborne, which is from Software, of course. It's exclusively a PlayStation VR game, like we mentioned before. And you are a spirit in a secluded boarding school. The player, you must prove the spirit's existence to the students and build a bond with them. And you kind of explore and uncover the world through discovery and exploration. Travel in time to change the fate of the people. So you can kind of interact with people and students who are kind of doing something.
Yeah.
And you can kind of change the fate of the game a little bit. It looks pretty cool. Not going to lie.
Yep, that's his really unique concept too. Playing as a ghost, especially in PlayStation VR.
Yeah.
I want to play this game, man.
I hope there's a demo out, because I would like to demo this one before picking it up.
There's not a lot of games with demo nowadays.
Tetris Forever or whatever it's called has a demo.
Yeah.
Tetris Effect, whatever.
Yeah.
We'll get to Tetris Effect later.
Yeah.
Next up is Grip, and this is a racing game, kind of like your average Mario Kart type game, but you harness gravity and you defy physics alongside a bristling arsenal of weapons. Grip delivers the fast, most competitive racing experience ever, as they say. You scale walls, ceilings, and anything else you can get your tires on as you master tracks, tricks, and perform stunts and race your way across the cosmos. This game reminds me of those toys I used to have that were those big wheeled cars that could flip over and they were remote controlled. So I got a little nostalgia for this, but I believe this game's a $40 price tag, and I think that's a little bit much for a racing game of this caliber. Definitely not gonna pick it up right away, but it looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of looks kind of cool.
I forgot to put the links this week. Lazy bastard at Sony, man.
Oh yeah, I know. I was hovering over the picture and clicking on it, and nothing was happening.
Nothing happening, right?
All right. Next up is Road Redemption, which is made by the same people who brought you Killing Floor 2, which I believe is Tripwire Studio, right? And this is an action racing game where you lead your motorcycle gang in a pursuit of blood and speed. Upgrade your character, your bike, and your weapons by completing races, assassinations, robberies, and more.
It looks a little bit like Road Rash, right?
Yeah, actually a little bit. But I haven't played this one yet. It was on Steam originally, and I've looked at it several times now. I just never picked it up on sale. But it just kind of looks like a goofy little fighting game, racing game. Might be a little bit of fun. Who knows?
Yeah, why not, right?
If you know if it's fun or not, tell us in the comments below.
Oh, look at you! Look at you! Look at you! That's good. That's good. I like that.
Hey, next up is Tetris Effect, the craziest version of Tetris yet. That kind of rhymed. It's coming out 11/9, so that's Friday. This is Tetris like you've never seen it before, like you've never heard it before, and like you've never felt it before. This is a sexual experience. I'm just kidding. This is a reinvention of one of the most popular puzzle games of all time from the people who brought you Res Infinite and Lumines.
Yeah. Nobody knows. I'm not the one to answer that question, that's for sure.
This game is fully playable in either standard or PSVR, so you got two different experiences you can kind of get here. I was watching gameplay of it, and I wanted to play the demo, but I never got around to downloading it. Definitely not your normal type of Tetris. It's definitely different. I don't know if the VR or the standard edition make it any worse or better. Just seems like they're trying to keep on making these games because obviously Tetris is going to sell no matter what you do with it. I mean, I bought that last version of Tetris that was like Tetris Rush or whatever it was on PlayStation, and that's pretty fun. Yeah, I'm not going to say it wasn't fun, but this looks very trippy.
Res Infinite is a game I want to play on PSVR too. It just remind me that. And I watched a video the holder of the world record on Tetris. He played that Tetris Effect. It was pretty good, and he said it was obviously pretty good too. It might be like a time killer or something like that. Not the type of game I want on PSVR too.
Yeah, they got to keep on to the rights of the Tetris name, and
yeah, exactly.
It's like Sony with the Marvel properties. They have to keep making a movie every so often to retain the rights. They're like, oh, time to put out a new Tetris game. Our contract's almost up.
It's Ubisoft, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's Ubisoft.
Lastly today, for me, is The Forest. This is a game that's been in beta on Steam for a long, long time, and they finally released it, and now it's getting a release on PS4 digital only. The Forest is a pretty cool game. I was watching my fiance play it a little bit. It's a crafting survival game, and you play as a lone survivor of a passenger jet crash. You find yourself in a mysterious forest, and hey, you're getting hunted down by cannibal mutants. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
And they take your son. Ooh. You build, explore, and survive in this terrifying first-person survival horror simulator. It is pretty cool. I think that this game definitely does something different with the survival horror genre, and I think it's definitely something that people would like. I don't know why they didn't release this last week for Halloween, but
Yeah,
I
they
think
miss.
yeah, they missed the mark on that. Maybe
Yep.
they just needed another week to polish the game. Who knows?
I saw a lot of streamer streaming this game when it was first released. It seems like a really popular like survival game. Not my type of game, but I can see people liking this game, especially on console. I think it's more a PC game too,
Yeah,
but I'm not sure how they managed to port it to consoles. But I understand why it's so popular too.
yeah. Like I said, it's kind of fun, you know.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
it's kind of like a I don't know. It's just it's really it's freaky, and like you have to like build up your defenses to keep out the cannibals, but you also need to attack the cannibals. So it's crazy. It's a crazy game.
And there's a lot of FMV game coming out too, like the shape shifting detective this week. There was a couple more games like this. I'm interested in those types of games actually. Like it's real people talking and just like interacting with the story and stuff like that. So, like Amy said, if you have like any idea of if we skip a game or if you know about a game that we don't know, we'd love to have a conversation with you guys in the comment section below. Look at me, right?
Doing good.
Doing good. So, are you ready to move to the topic of the show?
I am.
So we talked about this privately on Discord. The Nintendo PlayStation is it's like a collaboration in the 90s between Nintendo and PlayStation. I think Amy, you prepare something for this topic. I've read a lot about this topic too in the past couple days. So well, yeah, we'll have a conversation about this. It's a really interesting topic actually.
Yeah, I first learned about this story a few years ago, and it was really something that like I was like, whoa, that's weird. Like you can think of all the possibilities that
Yeah.
could have happened if a Nintendo Sony had had a partnership on a console, and who knows where it could have gone. But to start it off, it was around '87 that a Sony employee was secretly creating a sound effects chip for an SNES console, and what he did is he kind of went behind Sony's back and created it. And Sony was like, "Oh, this is pretty good." So they went to Nintendo with it and they sold it to him, and that's where the kind of the partnership started. And in the early '90s, um, originally this was supposed to be just like an add-on for the SNES, like
Yeah.
the little piece that you would attach to it. But Sony wanted more control for licensing, and they wanted control with, and Nintendo wanted control with the profits and stuff like that. So they started designing a console called the PlayStation, not the PlayStation, the PlayStation.
What two different words, right?
Yeah, it was two different words. And since Nintendo wanted to control more than Sony, Nintendo's president went behind Sony's back and created a partnership with Philips instead, which is an American company, and that's like a big no-no in Japan to go outsource things. And what Philips is, they created the CDI games, and frankly, they're horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen probably the memes and stuff like that of the Link Adventure game on the
Yeah, they
CDI.
consider the worst Zelda, and there was Mario Hotel too, which is
Mhm.
considered the worst Mario game ever too.
Yeah, just freaking awful games, not awesome, awful games. So what Nintendo did was it axed its ties with developers with this, and also they went back to cartridges with the N64, which also a lot of third-party developers weren't happy with. But before we get to anything like that, this was the day Sony announced its partnership with Nintendo. Nintendo announced the next day that they were going with Philips over Sony,
Yep, exactly.
and
That's
it
the
was a
crazy
huge
part.
stab in the back. Yeah, it's crazy. That was the first time Sony had heard of it or even thought about it. And so Sony had tried to patch up ties with Nintendo, and the deal failed again. So Sony tried to go to Sega, who dismissed them. They didn't want anything to do with them. So Sony was like, okay, let's just create our own system, and we'll call it the PlayStation with no space in between the words.
And
And
there was a
with the
lot of legal like battles regarding the name,
right,
and they Nintendo basically lost the name PlayStation, and Sony got it. And it's a really interesting story, and it's not unlike the Sega CD, by the way, which was already released or near releasing, right?
Yeah.
They just like basically put the PlayStation on top of a Super Nintendo, man. As you can see right now, it's really special, dude.
Yeah, and but PlayStation 1 came out the next generation consoles with the N64, and it dominated the market for the next two generations with PlayStation 1 and 2.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's pretty major to have a new, Sony, who's never built a console before, jump into the game and just right away soar higher than Nintendo. Even though the N64 had a lot of classic games on it that I love, but the PlayStation 1 definitely beat it in the sales numbers.
Yep. And PlayStation 2 too.
Yeah.
One of the best-selling console of all time, basically.
Yeah, one of the longest lasting too.
Yep.
It had a lot of support all the way through the PlayStation 3's life cycle, which is crazy to think about.
Yep. And in a traditional like Nintendo way, the big battle and why they refused the deal is that Nintendo wanted like the rights on basically all the games, all the names, and PlayStation refused to give them that. And they went with Philips instead because Philips gave up like all the names, all the trademarks, all the copyrights, and they just wanted their names on it, and they wanted to make like Zelda and Mario games on their own console. So it was like in the traditional Nintendo ways, all they want is like the copyrights and the trademarks, and this is where the cash is lying right now. Right. And I guess it's not too bad. Like in retrospect, I guess Nintendo made a mistake because now Sony and PlayStation is like their biggest rival, right? Mm-hmm. But they would have probably lost a lot of their trademarks and a lot of their copyrights on like big franchises. So nobody knows exactly how the things would have been, or if like, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah. We could have had a Spyro Crash Mario game,
Yep,
it could have been in Smash Brothers.
Or even Nintendo games with trophies.
Right,
what about that, man?
Yeah.
But Microsoft, maybe even like Sega would maybe still be there as a console manufacturer, right?
Maybe. I think they went under for different reasons, though.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I think it was just the poor business design that they had. They went under. I don't think it had anything. Maybe it had a little bit to do with Sony coming into the market and stealing a lot of the customers, but Sega kind of axed itself, kind of like Atari did.
Totally, but like my point is that if PlayStation weren't there during that era, it leaves like a big space for a competitor, right?
Yeah, you're right.
And in the 90s, there's not a lot of electronic manufacturer that wanted to any parts in the video games industry. Nintendo was the best with the NES and the SNES. It was Atari probably, but even then, it was probably already dead, right?
Yeah, Atari went down after the NES came out, pretty much.
Yep, because. Like, if you forget about NES and the SNES during the end of the 80s and the beginning of the 90s, there was not like big competitors in terms of consoles. Home consoles, it was PC, right?
I'm not too knowledgeable on that side of things, on the computer side of things.
Yeah, but my point is that if Sony weren't there during like the big competition between consoles, Nintendo and Sony would have been pretty much like have all the power in their own consoles. It would have been completely different now, for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
And you can see the image of the prototype. And one thing of the story is that they like a few years ago they in an auction sale, I think. Somebody bought, I think his father was working for Sony at the time of this console, and it was lying in the box for several years, like 20 years or something like that, even more than 20 years. And you can see right now it's a real prototype, and it wasn't working 100%, but they managed to fix it. And there was like even a game. I cannot show the footage of the game, but I'll leave probably the link in the description below. But there was a prototype that you can play as the chairman of Sony, the Super Boss Gaiden. The game was made, so there was already prototype of the games running on consoles and on the prototype console. So it was already like almost, the deal was almost made. If Nintendo weren't going with Philips the day after, which is absolutely nuts, man. Without telling Sony, too.
Yeah, it's a huge stab in the back, and they just it's crazy the business world. I mean, we look at our lives and we go, okay, we can do it with this or that, and in the business world, it's all about who's going to get the better deal out of the situation, and Nintendo obviously wanted it, but Sony wasn't having it. So, yeah, they went with someone who would comply with their rules, and they got screwed because those CDI games are just, like I said, they're just awful. They're just so bad.
Yep, yeah, for sure. Yeah, like the deal with Philips didn't work out in the end, but they kept our trademarks and they kept their copyrights for all the big franchise. So my point is that was that really a bad deal? Because Sony would have the rights for Mario, for Zelda, for tons of things, man, ton of franchise. And so the beef is between Nintendo and Sony is coming from right there, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Nintendo, a couple generations ago, weren't that different in terms of third party. They were really aggressive in terms of pricing and putting games on their consoles. In the Wii era, Nintendo 64 always had a lot of difficulty to deal with third parties and outside companies. So they are with the Switch right now, they are killing it, man. They are opening their console in indie developers and third-party developers, but it's new for them.
Yeah, I think they're going a little bit. They're opening their doors a little bit too much. There's a lot of flood of really terrible games on there right now.
Yep, like Sony, right?
Yeah. They got the Switch has all sorts of different games that are kind of like the Legend of Black Tiger and all that stuff that kind of gets thrown on the PlayStation Network. So it's kind of funny to see it happen, and it's kind of sad because at the beginning of the Switch's life cycle, they were really sifting through third-party developers' games, and now it seems like they're just throwing anything on there, and it's kind of weird,
Yep, there's no in between. It's all in, bring everything. There's no quality control, and Sony and PlayStation are guilty of that too. Right. There's a lot of garbage game, easy platinum. There's no rules. People are buying garbage game only for trophies. Sometimes there's not even a game that you're buying. It's flipping cards and getting free trophies. So I guess it's PlayStation and Nintendo are making a buck out of the purchases. So I guess it's not too bad, but they are opening everything, man. They are opening their system to third party and garbage, and even there's good games in there for sure, but there's more garbage than there's good games so far. I feel like
yeah, definitely. Yeah, but sift through 1,000 garbage games and get one, gold gem from a third party developer that gets sunk beneath them.
Yep, for sure. And the fascinating thing, and it tells a lot about Sony and PlayStation, is that Sony didn't say a word about it, man. They didn't say a word. They could have put Nintendo on the spot and say, look, they're backstabbed us, but they haven't said a thing. So they are really, really respectful, a respectful company, and I admire them for that. Sony always had quality electronics, quality console, and a lot of respect. It's like a real, like, traditional Japanese company for sure.
Definitely.
So yep, if you want to read more about the story, I'll put the link in the description below. This is the best article I found. It's from TechRadar. So I'll put the link in the description below. Have you anything? Do you have anything else to say about this?
One thing. Hold on. Let me just.
My god.
So to refresh my memory, I watched. It was called Dark History Episode 1 with, and it was on a channel named Resonant Arc.
Okay.
That's where I got a lot of the juicy details. He kind of went through it real fast in an 8-minute video, so kind of shout out to him for helping gather some information, because I hadn't really thought about it for a while, and I was like, I need a little refresher. So that was the video that I watched to kind of refresh my memory and kind of helped me write out what I wanted to say.
Yep. There's a lot of technical aspect, like some stuff that I said is probably totally wrong in terms of years and details and stuff like that. But this is a really fascinating story, and I encourage you guys to read about it, because it's one piece of history that could have been, but Nintendo just shut down Sony, and Sony turned create one of the greatest brand in terms of video games in the world. So shout out to them, man. They could have just give up to you. They could have just said, yeah, fuck it, and we're making TVs and surround systems, and we're keeping doing the stuff we're already doing. But they went all in. They are innovating, and they are now in their almost 5th iteration of the console. So it's working for them.
Yeah, definitely.
There we go, man. Good job, Yemi.
Oh, thank you.
So now it's the trophy segment. So we have 3 games, if I remember correctly. The first one is Déraciné, or Yemi called the game. How do you call it, man?
Déraciné?
Oh, that's not too bad, man. The accent was there. It was a good effort. I'm proud of you, dude.
Oh, you're making me blush.
I can see you. I don't believe you, man. So the platinum seems super easy, man. So far, there's 17 people having the platinum, 29%. Like, it's mostly, I think, related to trophies, not to trophies, to story. It seems to have a couple of like miscellaneous and maybe like ending trophies.
It seems like a lot of them, you have to be in the right place at the right time. Like how you kind of roam around as a specter, you kind of have to be in the correct place to kind of, get the trophy that pop. Because if you miss something, I would hope that there's a chapter select, but you might have to go all the way back to the game.
Yeah, that would suck. That would totally suck. But I'm not sure if there's any missable too. I don't like the percentage is pretty high, so I would say probably like the game is probably short, and even if you have to play the game again, it's not too bad since the game is so short. But it seems like a cool game to experience, and when there's like easy trophies like that, you at least for me, you can like experience the game and don't worry about trophies basically.
And the trophy pictures are very reminiscent of a Bloodborne type thing.
Yeah, totally, man. Even Demon Souls.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Yeah, I have like a constant style in all the trophy tiles right there. Yep, it's really well done, man. I love when companies like put their time in creating like cool trophies, tiles, and image. That's really cool. That is really cool. I wanted to say to you, since I started the YouTube channel, I played a lot of different games, and I noticed that I was having more fun since I was not worrying about the trophies, since I was working on something else. I was working like on first impression series and stuff like that. So I stopped a little bit like trophy hunting per se, and I'm really enjoying the time I'm spent with the game, like without worrying about the trophies. And I know that you are like that too. You were like super hardcore like me before. and you kind of stop and only like play in platinum games that you really like or love, right?
Yeah, I don't go into the game searching for the trophies anymore. I go for the experience, and then if I like the game enough, I go back and get the trophies for it, the platinum for it, like with Spider-Man, and I'll probably do it for God of War too.
Yeah, God of War is pretty easy. Yep. So I wanted to say that like I'm a huge trophy hunter. I love like unlocking trophies, but I'm in a point in my life where I don't have enough time to grind for trophies and not having fun doing so. So I'll only platinum from now on games I really love or enjoy. And like if I have to play the games like 5 times and I'm not enjoying it, I'm canceling the game, man. Easy as that.
Right. I'm actually kind of going for the one for Halloween Forever right now. I've beaten the game 3 times with 3 different characters, so I think I'm getting close to it. I think the run for 1 HP, you have only 1 HP for the whole game, is gonna be the death of me maybe. But I'm actually kind of trying, but I'm also still playing the game for fun. So it's kind of like a halfway point.
But in Halloween Forever, there's a character that can fly. Always.
That's the second time I beat it. I
Okay.
used that character.
So it's the best character to do the 1 HP mode with, if you were wondering.
I don't
That's
know.
what I read online, man. Internet never lies.
Well, in my personal opinion, when I was playing with the flying guy, I was a little bit more careless because I thought, oh, there's nothing that's up here that's going to kill me. And there was things that would kill you. I found the game was the easiest with the squash character who has exploding shells. That's who I beat the game with first, and I think he's the best one for the job.
I guess it really depends on how you want to play the game, because without the guy flying, you can die in pits.
But you gotta have some skill with the game. Like
Yeah.
pits are easy to jump over. I don't know. I'm just saying the squash dude, squash bro, definitely my favorite character to use, and I think he's better than the flying character. That's just me. Because towards the end of the game, when you get to the last stage, the 5th level, you're inside a castle, and there's stuff everywhere that can kill you, and he doesn't have like a powerful enough attack to kill enemies in one hit like the squash does.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I guess that makes sense too. The game is really tough, man. So far, I'm dying like all around the place. I reached like the 3rd level in my when I was recording, and it's like off screen, like Twomp and freaking stuff like hidden everywhere, killing you and stuff like that. So I cannot
definitely
imagine the 4th and 5th level, man.
I have everything memorized now, so I can get through the game pretty easily. The secrets too, you got to memorize where those are, because once you collect a character, you can go back to that same spot and get an extra life. So
That's cool.
That's what I've been doing. It's you go through the secret areas. Sometimes they're a little bit more challenging than they should be, but getting that extra life is definitely worth it, especially when you're doing 1 HP mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool game, man. That's only the type of game I want to play, like handheld mode. So yep. All right. Enough of Halloween Forever, dude.
I can never have enough of Halloween Forever.
This is a really cool game. I agree with you. And it's a whole game too. It's a really whole game. It was released on Steam in 2016, and the port, it's like a really, really small, I think it's even a one-man army. It's only one dude that created the game with Game Maker, I think it's called. So it's a really, really like short and like simple game, but it's really effective, at least for me.
Yeah, I agree.
The next game is called Call of
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu? Yeah, there's not even a H in there.
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. There's a lot of H, man. H are my kryptonite, right?
You can say Cthulhu. That's fine.
Cthulhu? Okay.
Yeah, people will know what you're talking about. Whether each way you do it, it's everyone knows Cthulhu. I mean, it's the same, dude.
But like, you're making a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Working several years on a game, really hard, like 16 hours a week, and you have to choose a name, right, of the game, and you choose Call of Cthulhu, which is really weird for me. Like, I was trying to research a little bit of the game. I saw a lot of streamers streaming it. All the streamers had the name wrong in their title. And even Google was like confused of what I was trying to search for. So it's a sign, right? It's a sign.
You know who Cthulhu is, though, right?
Nope. No idea, man.
You don't know who? Oh my God, he's like a giant tentacle monster, and there was like a whole whatchamacallit, there's like a whole cult around this Cthulhu character who is going to come and end the world. South Park did a few goofs on him.
So it's a known thing.
Yeah, he's kind of like
okay.
he's like a monster, comes and just kills everything, you know.
I'm just ignorant then.
And in one of the Skyrim DLCs, he was like inside a different dimension talking to you. So this game kind of follows that same thing where Cthulhu's kind of guiding you. I watched a little bit of gameplay of it. Briar LaCroix was playing it, and he told me that it's definitely a wait for a sale type of game because the finished product right now isn't worth the full price tag, he said. Just little inside sources.
Yeah, I talked about the game with him too on Twitter.
Oh yeah,
actually.
Cool.
Yeah. I said the game was like $80 in Canada, and he said like wait for a price drop. It's a cool game, but not worth like the full price tag, I guess.
But hey, how about those trophies?
Yeah, why not? Why not talk about the trophies? So the game has several like branching paths, several endings. I think it will be a pretty long platinum. There's a lot of hidden stuff, collectibles, and not sure if you can branch your save to collect 2 endings in one go, or having like strategic saves. I'm not sure about that, but like usually when games have several endings, you can like save, do one choice, and reload and choose the other choice.
Yeah, kind of like late shift. Yeah.
But I'm not sure about it. But there 6.14% clear rate of the platinum, so I guess it's a pretty long and maybe not challenging, but just long platinum basically.
Yeah, I know it's very choice driven game, so I think the branching arcs might be difficult to do multiple endings on, especially if you have to set things up a lot, towards the beginning of the game that affect the end.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense. I mean,
like you said, it looks like a cool game. Like, it's definitely one I'll grab when it's on sale. And the trophies, they seem like they're easy enough, but you're definitely going to want to use a guide for collectibles and maybe just kind of know what you're getting into before you start it if you're going for trophies.
Yep, if you go for trophies, you need a guide, that's for sure. That's the type of game you need a guide for.
Exactly, yep.
And then the last one is Red Dead Redemption 2, of course. You might want to talk a little bit more about it than me because you played the game, but it seems like it's reminiscent to the Grand Theft Auto 5 trophy list, I think, with online mixed up with 100% the story mode and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely looks closer to Grand Theft Auto, and this is actually one of the first Rockstar games that has a trophy for each chapter, which is really interesting to me because even in the first Red Dead game, there's like 3 trophies for story. There's one for the very beginning of the game, there's one for exactly in the middle, and there was one for the end. And this one has one for each chapter, so that really stuck out to me. And there's a few trophies for doing side mission things, and also attaining 100% completion, which is, I mean, that's got to be ridiculous because the map is huge and there's so much on the map.
Yeah.
Doing all the activities in each camp, I mean, it's crazy. And like you said, the multiplayer ones are definitely going to be the ones that are going to make or break your platinum run. And it looks like most of the multiplayer ones have a 0% for the trophy rate. So
it's not open, or
I don't think it's up yet. I think it's just single player right now. But the ones on here, I mean, most of them look like easy peasy kind of, but there's some that require that battle royale mode, which might be well, maybe there isn't. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah, it looks like it's all just the free roam stuff. So maybe it's not as bad as I think, but it's
grindy for sure.
It looks grindy, yeah.
Yeah, they haven't opened the online yet. I think they did the same thing with Grand Theft Auto, or
Yeah.
it was there day one, but it was totally broken for several weeks, right?
It was, yeah, it felt like months, I think. Because I remember doing like the
Yeah.
startup mission. You made your character, and then it said the servers are not online. I was like, come on.
Come on. Like, yeah, but I guess the single player is so freaking huge that they
It
can
is.
take their sweet time with online. But they
Yeah.
are selling the game with online like functionality, and it's not up yet. It's
Yeah.
weird. But
Yeah.
they can do whatever they want, man. It's
Yeah.
Rockstar.
It is a little weird, but yeah, like you said, it's Rockstar. They can kind of get away with anything.
Yep.
Even putting in a trophy that you have to survive 18 bear attacks and kill the bear. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. But they are known to have ridiculous trophies. So.
That is true. That is so true.
Before jumping in the PlayStation memory segment of the show, we are gonna answer one question from the listeners. So I'm gonna give you 3 questions as always, and you pick one. Are you ready, man?
I'm ready.
So Sony versus Nintendo in terms of risk. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Collector's edition, physical collector's edition. Favorite PlayStation games and favorite PlayStation game that you spend the most time on.
Whew.
That's tough, huh?
Let's go. Let's go with the. Let's do collector's editions. How about that?
Okay, that one is a little bit long. It's coming from Dragon-Archon from PSNprofiles. Is one of the like first person I met on PSNprofiles. So shout out to you. He's always active in there. Is super friendly, and he sent us a question. It's a big one. It's a big one. Are you ready?
Ready.
Collector's edition used to contain lots of goodies for a decent price. And in recent years, it seems goodies aren't included so often, and when they are, the prices are ridiculously high, which I agree. Digital content is also appearing more and more. Sometimes early access to DLC or multiplayer content is included too. What are your thoughts about this? Do you prefer physical goodies, or are you okay with digital content? Any thoughts about the future of Collector's Edition? And his personal opinion is, I prefer physical goodies, but if access to DLCs is added, I don't mind. However, Collector's Edition with only digital content is a big no-no for me. So your thoughts on this?
So collectors, I haven't really gotten a collector edition in a while. The last one I got, man, I think it was, what was the last collector? I think it was back in
Batman
yeah, it was Arkham Origins, I believe.
that's an awesome one too. I have this one too. With the
That was
Joker, with the knife on the table.
Yeah. Yep. That's a good one.
Yep, that is a good one, yeah.
But I do agree that recently collector's editions have gone way downhill. Like that statue for Spider-Man was definitely not as nice as I would like to have seen. I didn't buy the collector's edition for that one. I just saw the photos of it and I was like,
It feels cheap.
it doesn't look that great, and then it just looks kind of cheap. I love the story of Mass Effect Andromeda's collector's edition with the remote controlled car that didn't include the game.
Yeah, and there was Wolfenstein 2. I think Wolfenstein 2 didn't include the game too. That's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, that's stupid. Or collector's editions that have a digital copy of the game is also a big no-no for me.
Man, that's stupid.
I mean, like when I got the Titanfall bundle of the Xbox One and it came with a code, I was really disappointed. I was like, what?
Yeah, for sure. I'm a huge collector's edition fan, especially in the PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 3 era. I have a couple of PlayStation 4, but like it's too far in between. I should take pictures and post them on Twitter or Discord or Instagram. I have a huge collector's edition, a collection of collector's edition and stuff like that. But I stopped because the prices usually like in Canada back in the days, like a standard game were $60, and the collector's edition were like $80 or $900, which wasn't too bad with all the physical like goodies you got in the box, like $20 or even $40. And with Amazon Prime, you had like huge discount too on physical on collector's edition. So I stopped because like Dragon-Archon said, the price went up to like 150, 160, 180, $200 in Canada, and the quality drops a lot. It used to be quality stuff in the box, and now it's just like cheaply paint figurines and easily broken stuff and digital content. So I stopped buying a collector's edition, but I still like him. I have a mixed like opinion on this one. I stopped because it was too expensive, but I really love them still.
I remember the last collector's edition I got. I got the Deformers collector's edition from last year.
Oh, it was yeah, I remember.
It was $10 more, and it came like with 4 really cheap looking but kind of nice looking little the Deformer characters. That was
GameStop exclusive, right?
Yeah, it was a GameStop. It came with a tin. It was pushed back so much I forgot about it, and then they called me and they're like, "Hey, you're gonna come pick up your copy?" I'm like, "What?" It's out.
I don't want it.
But Deformers, that was the last one I got, and I wasn't disappointed with that one. The one that I was disappointed with was Mass Effect 3's bundle. It was the collector's edition, and it had like inside of it was a big box, and inside of it was just like a free like a mini comic book, some art from the game in a booklet.
Yeah, I have it.
A picture of the Normandy. I was like, just a picture? Wow, that's really special. Like, that's not going to end up in a compost pile. It had the game with it, of course, and I don't think there was anything else in that. It was really disappointing, and even the box wasn't that cool. It was just a normal box. I was like, wow, thanks a lot.
And I remember, like, one I was disappointed to was Dead Space 2. Yeah, it was Dead Space 2. In the description, it says, like, a replica of a gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of a gun. I received the copy. I didn't, like, research or anything. Like, I was a huge fan of the first Dead Space game, so I didn't matter really much. But it was like the same size as Mass Effect 3 Collector's Edition, and the replica of the gun was like 2 inches or something like that. It was ridiculous, man. I was so disappointed.
So it wasn't like the Gears of War Chainsaw Gun Edition.
Nope.
That had the full chain.
Yeah, no, not at all. But yeah, I still love Collector's Edition. Like, if I had like a lot of cash, I would like buy all of them for sure. But there's not a lot more. Right now, there's not a lot. There's still Ubisoft that are pushing their Collector's Edition. Mm-hmm. But apart from that, there's not a lot of companies not going the only digital way. So
yeah, you kind of expect games to have in a collector's edition, but nowadays you're more expecting them to have that special edition for $10 more with like extra DLC, like Red Dead.
Yep.
Even the base game of Red Dead had a nice goodie in the disc.
Mm-hmm.
It had the entire map of the game they did that with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead 1, and I think Grand Theft Auto 4, if I remember correctly.
There was a full-fledged collector's edition, yeah.
But having a map of the game is cool, and I always love putting those on the wall. I haven't put this one up yet because I haven't had time. But yeah, and I think the last collector's edition that I really really wanted but I never got was the Pip-Boy edition for Fallout 4.
Yep.
And that was just impossible to get. Like, it sold out the first day. But I thought that was a really cool idea, and it wasn't that expensive either.
Nope, it was like you had to pre-order it like in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think it was an Amazon exclusive to you.
No, you could get it at GameStop and EB Games. Yeah.
Okay. And talking about collector's edition, I'm a huge fan of the collector's edition guides. Collectors like strategy guides. I have tons of them, And once again, they used to be like $20, and the original, like the standard edition, were $15. So $20, $5 more. But now it's like $40, $50. So I stopped buying them. But it's a really cool piece of art. If you sometimes I'm just picking one and like scrolling through the pages and like checking the art and remembering like memories and stuff like that. And I'm playing like old school games with Deluge on streams and Sneak sometimes too. And he's guiding me through the games, and he's using my old strategy guides, so you don't have to have like a computer in front of him, and like he's checking the art of the guides and stuff like that. So it's a really cool like piece of history. I feel like the strategy guides, I really like watching them and scrolling through the page, like I said.
Yeah, I was never really into strategy guys. I think the one I had was for like Lord of the Rings Two Towers, and I ended up cutting the pictures out of it and putting them.
Blasphemy, man! You don't do that. You don't do that, dude.
Yeah, I was a kid, you know.
And I have like really expensive strategy guides from the Super Nintendo era, like Final Fantasy 3, Chrono Trigger, and I have like strategy guides from PS1 RPGs like Breath of Fire 3, Vagrant Story, Parasite Eve, and most of them are like $60 and upward, man.
Yeah,
really,
that's
really cool piece, and really rare too. So there you go, man. There you go. I was a huge collector. Now I'm going digital because it's too expensive otherwise.
Yeah. Definitely not getting any cheaper, that's for sure.
Nope, that is for sure, especially in Canada, man. PlayStation Memory of the Week is, and we both agreed on this. As soon as I said the title, he said, "Yup, do it." It's Shadow of the Colossus. It was first released in North America in 2005. It was one. It's from Team Ico, of course, which is the developer behind Ico, Shadow of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. And it's pretty much the only 3 games that they've done, right?
Yeah.
But Shadow of Colossus is one of the first game that like made me add emotions without talking. Basically, there's no dialogues in the game. It's really just heart. It's really just like a moving story between 2 characters and the horse too, if you remember the game.
Yep.
And there's a really cool collection on PlayStation 3 with Ico and Shadow of the Colossus, and they remade Shadow of the Colossus for the PlayStation 4, and they made a terrible, not a terrible, like a positive terrible, like a really, really great job on the remaster. Like the original PlayStation 2 version had really clunky controls. I think they fixed it a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, but it's a really, really cool game and really unique game.
Yeah, it definitely had a really cool style to it. I was always a little leery about killing the giants in it because, as you learn through the game, of course, they weren't really hurting anyone.
Yeah.
But I was always sad when every time I killed a giant, and I was like, do I really have to do this? Like I didn't want to do it, you know?
Yep, exactly. And this is what I'm like. I was opening the game with a lot of like good memories and a lot of emotions too, because like you have to do something that you don't want to do, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Killing giants, and it's just they are big and they are like just there, and they're trying. It's a really like everybody that played this game had like different emotions. Some of them like hated the game, and I understand why, because the controls are really clunky, or especially in the original version. But for me, it's all about the story, and the scale of the boss fights are amazing, especially like the one in the water. This one was really amazing, man.
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
It got like really good reviews. Some of them like liked it a little bit less, but most of them really liked the game and loved the game. And it's a Shadow of the Colossus deserve a place in the PlayStation memories and PlayStation ecosystem for sure. I would love to see a Shadow of the Colossus too.
I will say I still haven't bought the remaster version of Shadow Colossus. I'm waiting for it to. I mean, it's already down to $20, but I'm waiting for Black Friday this year to pick it up because it'll probably be like $5, you know?
Yeah. Or they give it up for free or something like that.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
Yeah, for sure. Or even The Last Guardian, man. Nobody's talking about this game.
Nah,
They
I
are
didn't really
talking
like
about the
Last
history
Guardian.
behind the game, but not about the game itself.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Glass Guardian. I didn't get through it.
I didn't even bought it, and I didn't check it too. I was not interested by the game in the first place. I'm just interested behind the history and why this game took so long to make.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for the episode 12 of the CronoCast. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you again, Dragon-Archon. I'll tag you on PSNprofiles so you can listen to the conversation behind your question. Really interesting conversation. Don't forget that you can be part of the show just like Dragon-Archon by submitting your question on Discord, on Twitter. You know how to reach us. Yemi, where can people find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and
That's it, right?
yeah, that's it. All of them at Yummy the Ferret.
Okay, cool. And do you want to take a moment to explain, like, you made changes to your YouTube channel?
I did.
You're going more for the review of games and like PlayStation games too. So do you want to talk a little bit about that before closing the show?
Sure. One of the biggest changes to the channel is I moved streaming over to Twitch. So yeah, that's the last place you can find me is on Twitch. But the reason for that was because I wanted to kind of clear up some of the videos on the channel, and I thought that moving the streams to a different platform and then making a highlight video out of it, a week later, would be a better way to do that. Also brought reviews back. The first one is up, and this week I actually got a free key from the developers of what I can't remember the name right now.
I'm so bad at this, man.
Freaky Awesome. That was it.
Yeah. I was searching too.
And I'm really excited that I was playing it pretty much all last night, yesterday, and I'm really excited about reviewing this game. And it's one of the first games I'm reviewing that I got a free key for, and hopefully the developers like my review of it. Working pretty hard on it, and I'm really excited to keep that series going. And still have the podcast and the highlights for the podcast coming out the same days.
Awesome.
But I've moved all my times to the middle of the day, 12 p.m. Let's see how that goes for a little while. If the numbers are better at 12, I'll keep them at 12. If I want to, I might go back, but I think 12 is a good time.
Yep. Well, we'll talk about this privately, but yep, it's way better, I think. In terms like when you publish, I don't want to go like too in depth in YouTube, but when you publish a video, like the first 2 or 3 or 4 hours are really important in terms of like comments, likes, and views. So I feel like you are dropping in the right time, right where it's really busy on YouTube. So it's way better for sure. I wouldn't change that.
All right.
And it's a really cool feeling when you have a key via email, right? A free key?
Yeah. I applied for that key however many months ago, and to see that email pop up and go, "Hey, you got a free key," and it's Freaky Awesome, which is a game that I was really excited for. I was ecstatic.
Same thing for me. My first impressions video series, the first impression series, I have like up to 30 videos right now, I think.
Yeah.
It's and it's all free keys. And I remember when I got the free keys for Dead Cells, for Moonlighter, even for Home Sweet Home. It's like making my day, right? Like the publishers, the developers, like trust the way I'm doing the reviews and trust like the way I'm not sure how to say it, but they are trusting the way I'm doing the videos. And so I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's a really cool feeling, and I really enjoy when I get free keys and bringing exposure to like less known games and helping the developers along the way. So it's a really cool feeling, basically.
Yeah, definitely. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. I agree with you, man. So once again, thank you so much for all the feedback, the support, the love, even you, player two. We love your comments, dude. Don't stop being awesome, dude. It's really appreciated, and I'll talk to you in the next podcast. See you later, guys.